All right, and I am about to go on live to Facebook. Choose where you want to post your. But because I immediately. Can you see me, Shauntrice?
Yeah, I can see you.
I don't know nothing about no Facebook, love. This is
we
my
all
first
on the same boat, child.
Right. This is my first time. Oh, wow. It's a whole bio we got to put in. Oh, Excel. Title, bread, and butter. Series. Mm-hmm. Welcome to the Cousin Kitchen. Yeah. Cousin Kitchen. Oh, did you X out?
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, it's going to fall every time, so just leave it down. You're good, girl. Everybody does it. It's over there. And her name ain't popping up. Oh, there we go. Okay. Are you a part of a food co-op too?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You doing that? Shauntrice Martin and your cousin. But your Play Cousins Collective, but it'll still be cool. Where are we? Why are you popping up? Okay. If anybody can, okay. All right. Okay. All right. And have dinner. With your Play Cousins. And then choose Play Cousins Collective. Maybe it'll pop up that way. Okay, nope. All right, go live. I'm going now. Oh, it is delayed. All right.
Okay, I think
I have some garlic we can fresh press.
Okay, yeah, I can see it's maybe a delay. I'm not sure.
Is it live?
It is. I'm on it on my phone.
Well, let me not make a silly face.
I mean, the delay's not bad. I think that's fine.
So are people seeing me?
Yes, because I'm on my phone. I can see us. It's delayed by a few seconds, but I can see us. And on the Zoom, I can see we're live on Facebook.
Oh no. All right. This is what we need right here. Yes. Okay. Thank you all for tuning in for the first ever Bread and Butter series. I am Mahogany Mayfield. I'm the community liaison for Play Cousins Collective, and I have some of my favorite Play Cousins with me here today. We have Christian Buckler, Reciprocal Promise. Hey, Miss Jackie. And the one and only Miss Shauntrice Martin, who is going to talk with us today about building generational wealth. I know I'm excited to tune in and learn some stuff. I probably need to grab me a notebook or use my notes in my phone. I'm excited to learn and have some good dinner with you all. Thank you all for tuning in. This is the first ever Bread and Butter series, but it won't be the last. So give us feedback, let you all know, let us know what money concerns you have, what meals you want to cook. And without any further ado, Miss Shauntrice Martin, we'd love to hear from you.
Hey y'all, I'm Shauntrice. I'm really excited about this. Me, Mahogany, and Christian have been working on this for a few weeks, and we really want to make it something that's beneficial to as many people as possible. Today's will be fairly general because we want to hear from you all. So in just a moment, I'm going to share my screen. You can also, if you request it, you can get a copy of the presentation. There are some workbook items in here that you can fill out. I'm also a loan officer at LHOME, and we have a lot of different loan products. I'm happy to talk with folks after the presentation about how you can get your first loan or get a loan to consolidate, and just get financial coaching as well. We offer free financial coaching every month, Money Mondays. And yeah, so I'm going to share my screen. Oh, and by the way, we are delayed a few seconds. Christian and Mahogany will be looking in the chat for questions. I can't see the chat at all. So if you say hi to me, I'm just saying hi in advance. All right, so we're gonna do this screen share. Let's see, will technology win or will I win? Let's see. All right, can everybody see the screen?
Yes.
Perfect. So today we're going to talk about generational wealth. A lot of people have used the term, but don't fully know what it means. So in this series, generational wealth relates to the ability to pass down money to your children and then to their children and so on and so forth. We recognize that Black folks are at somewhat of a disadvantage due to redlining, institutional racism. And we're not by any means saying that like just because you don't have the money means you're financially illiterate. We understand that sometimes it's not about being educated, it's just the fact that you don't have the money in the first place. All right, y'all like my little graphic I made?
Yes.
All right, so the first slide is just about me. I put this there because, you know, a lot of people have this assumption that single mothers are all welfare queens. We don't work, we're lazy, we just have a bunch of kids so the state can support us. But I put this up there because being a single mother doesn't have to stop you from being a homeowner, a business owner, financial coach, any of the things that you want to do in your career, you can do, whether you're a single mom of one, of a bunch, a single father, a two-parent household. If you're determined to do it and you are able to tap into institutions and resources, it's possible. So I don't want you to limit yourself. Today, we're going to learn how to stop what are called wealth killers. We're going to learn about using life insurance to build your wealth. I don't know if Jasmine is on here. I just bought term life insurance from her. She's a really good resource. And we're also going to learn about how to teach your children about wealth building, about finance. That's really important for generational wealth because we don't want to just have our children out here learning from like friends or memes. All right, so first question, we're gonna have a few little quizzes in between. True or false, you should keep your DTI at or around 30%. I'm gonna give y'all a couple seconds. I know it's a little delayed. I got my phone over here on the side also. All right, so this one is true. If you didn't already know, it's fine. I didn't know, until I had to get a loan. A DTI is your debt to income ratio. This is letting you know how much money you're spending every month. You take your debt, that's your bills, credit card payments, car payments, any money going out of the household. Take that number divided by your income. Now, income is including wages, if you got a side hustle, alimony, child support, whatever money you have coming into the household. So you take debt divided by income, and you're going to get your DTI, which should be a percentage. So if you can see on the screen, if your bills are $500 a month and your wages are $900 a month, then your DTI is 56%. And while I just said in the last slide, you want to keep it around 30% to make sure your credit score is solid, there are a lot of people, I have clients who have a DTI as high as 99 or 100%. That doesn't mean the end of the world. You may need to cut back on some things. You may need to bring more money in. There are also programs for folks who are low to moderate income to help give you a little bit more of a cushion. And I know I'm running through some of these kind of fast, but we will be sharing out the recording to anyone who requested. Am I right, Mahogany? I won't say no.
You are right. And I was going to tell you, I'm like, if you ever want to take a pause, I totally forgot to show them what we are whipping up. I was ready to jump right in. So if you ever need to take a break, we can check in on Chef Christian, Noopy's World, who is chopping up veggies. We got stuff from Ag in the City. So we got a lot going on. So if you ever need a pause, let me know and we can show our progress with dinner.
And I'm just assuming, because I'm leading this, that I'm going to get a free plate. So I'm going to just keep that assumption.
I'm going to shoot you my address, sis. I got you.
All right. So this first part, we're talking about debt. And I mentioned wealth killers earlier. We don't really think about those until it's kind of too late. So what we want to try to start doing moving forward, especially now that we're coming out of quarantine and some of these bills are going to come due, is the wealth killer. So when you get a loan, there's different types. One that's really popular is a payday loan. Those have up to 400% interest, meaning you could pay thousands of dollars on a $500 loan based on the fees, the interest. They may not have a fixed rate. There may be application fees. So you want to make sure that you have all the details of the loan before they even run your credit. Like, they should be able to show you, like, here's the interest rate, here's when payments are due, here's the total amount that you're going to pay over the life of the loan. If they can't do that, chances are it's because their interest rate is so high that if you saw it, you wouldn't want to use it. Another one is buy here, pay here, car loans. You'll see those signs up a lot. And it's not the worst thing in the world, but they're not going to help you build your credit. They only report to the credit bureau if you mess up. So the only thing they can really do is hurt your credit. And similarly, the lack of emergency funds. So the reason we often need a loan is because, like, the car broke down or somebody lost a job, or, we got COVID-19 happening. So we want to try to build up emergency funds. And at the end of the session, I'm actually going to offer $50 to one of the people who's in the session, so that you can put into emergency funds. Now, I'm not going to go behind your back and see, did you really do it or did you spend it on something silly? But I do want to offer that because a lot of times we just need a starting point. Once you get the account, you get some money in there, it's easier to put some in every month. But if you don't have anything to begin with, it's really hard to build up your wealth. And then the last thing, we already know what impulse credit card buying is. Just, buying stuff, you can't really afford it. And you just like, that's a problem for future. We don't want to do that.
Right.
But the more important thing is ignoring debt that is older than 30 days. As a loan officer, if one of my clients does not pay for their loan, the check bounces or whatever else, I'm calling the person. Like, what's going on? Did you change bank accounts? Did you lose a job? It's like, did we get a number off? I try to reach out, but most banks, if not all banks, and other lending companies are not about to do that. They're not going to call to check up on you. They don't care if your daughter's sick. They don't care if you lost your job. They're just going to report to the credit union. So you want to be really careful and not ignore that. What I try to do is set a calendar invitation for myself when something is due, or I have automatic payments. And so on the other side is wealth builders. These are things that are going to help your wealth. They're going to help build up your finances. So we talked about DTI. You want to keep it around 30% if you can. If your DTI, after you do it, is closer to 100% or even like 50 to 60%, that means half your money is going out and not coming back every month. And so we want to work on strategies to build up that savings so we don't have to have as much debt. Automatic savings programs, I talk about Acorns all the time. That's what I use because it just comes out. It's like $10 a month. I don't even notice it. Whereas I might have spent that on, Heine Brothers or something. I don't really mess with Starbucks, but
Right.
got me one of them little bourbon lattes, But
Yes.
if it's not there for me to spend, I'm less likely to go over. And the last thing on Wealth Builders is checking your credit score, checking your credit report. Both are important, and you could do it for free on Credit Karma without putting in any credit card information. Because sometimes they say, oh, it's free, but put in your credit card. That's because in 30 days, they're going to charge you, and you might not notice. And by the time you do notice, it's probably too late to file a claim with your bank, because a lot of banks, you can only file a claim within like 30 days. So y'all want to be careful of putting in your credit card information or your social security number for any organization, any business. And that's why it's good to have a financial advisor. So I have a few little do nows. The first one is signing up for Credit Karma. All you do is go to creditkarma.com. It's free to sign up. They won't ask you for a credit card. They're going to advertise to you, but you don't have to accept any of those advertisements. And you can get a free credit report as often as you want, and it does not hurt your credit score. And Mahogany, I thought it looked like you had something to say about that.
I did. This was literally my next. I'm like, she knows. So I don't have like an official. Does everyone have a credit score, even if you don't have like a formal credit card?
Yes. So everyone has a credit score in this country, unless you literally have had nothing. For me, I had bills in my name when I was very young, like many of us. So I've had a credit score for quite some time. I have something on my credit report from 1987 when I was a preschooler. So, and a lot of us have that same issue.
Yeah.
Overcome. Even if you don't have a credit card. I just got my first credit card. I'm 35. I got my first credit card at 30 or 31.
Yeah, I don't have
a credit score. So you can have a credit score if you if they check your credit for like your first apartment or getting student loans, or even applying for scholarships or like the FAFSA. So you're going to have a credit score as soon as you interact with, like, if you have your taxes. So if you're interacting with your finances online or whatever else, if you've ever had to put in your social security number for like college applications and things like that, you have a credit score.
Wow.
But having a credit card, if you use it responsibly, can help you have a better credit score. And that's if you're paying off every month without fail, no late payments. If you can pay it off in full, it's best. But as long as you pay that minimum, you're at least like not hindering your credit score, if that makes sense.
So I know that my mom has me like added to her credit card or to her credit account, and shout out to her, she has good credit, I believe. And I've used like that card a few times and my name is on it. So does that go towards my credit score?
It goes towards both. So you're essentially out and co-signed. So and that's one thing I'm going to do with my son when he becomes a teenager. It's a really good practice for generational wealth, because if she has an 800 and you pretty much have no credit, then it's like you're coming up. She's letting you borrow her credit worthy.
Wow. Thank you,
like somebody with good credit is vouching for you. Now on the flip side, I take Susie Orm's advice on this. I always advise against co-signing, because if that person defaults, it's still on you and it's still on your credit. So if I decide, now I wouldn't do this. So if I do this, I'd have been body snatched. But if, someone I'm dating is like, oh, I really need a car for this dream I got, like, can you co-sign? If I co-sign on that loan and he leaves with the car, without whatever, I'm still responsible for it. And I may not know that the payments are missed until it gets on my credit report. So if that person is the one using the car or whatever they got the loan for and they stop paying, you might not get a notice because it's that person's name and address and phone number. So that's who the creditor is contacting over and over. So you may not even know until a year later when you go for a mortgage. They're like, no, you have this debt on your record that you can't explain. So I think that when it comes to parents doing it for children, it's really good. It's a good way to build wealth and build credit. But other than that, I really advise against it. And even I would say that even when I do it with my son, he won't have the credit card. I'll be in charge of it.
I just got it. But I do good.
You should get her a nice gift, because
I will.
I don't let nobody in on my credit.
Yeah, I'm responsible, but I'm gonna get her a little something with the credit card. Christian,
all right, so
after this slide, let's jump in and see how Christian's doing.
Perfect. So this is a true or false. generational wealth building can include life insurance. And while y'all think about that, Mahogany, you go ahead, turn it over to Christian, and I can't wait. I'm excited to see what she got.
No, and definitely come by and get a plate. Right. All right. So you can control your angles and such. I guess just point it down so they can see. So we just got some veggies here. We got some potatoes, squash, green peppers, red onions. We also have peppers and carrots, chickpeas, fresh garlic, and different spices. So we're doing the one sheet pan dinner that we sent out. And once all of this is in the bowl, we'll get it in the oven and it'll be done. Yes, and we're using olive oil and parsley if y'all want to know the details. And I have to give another shout out because I don't know how you all have been living during quarantine, but I actually did not have, that was our battery low. We're going to get some energy. But prior to Friday, I didn't have much produce. So shout out to Ag in the City for coming through. And so we're using fresh produce from West Louisville. So, I mean, keeping it within the family in every aspect, and about to eat good. Yes, and so I'm also going to plug in RPOP and Play Cousins. We have been doing bi-weekly care package giveaways. So for the next bread and butter series, you can also get your produce from Ag in the City. Those are bi-weekly Friday. I'm getting some energy up in this laptop. But next Friday will be our next care package giveaway. Those are 2 to 5 at the RPOP Cities United office at 1718 West Muhammad Ali. We'll post a flyer. It's 2 to 5 p.m. We recommend getting there at 1:45. We got good stuff, and just go ahead, get in line, maintaining social distancing and such. But get there on time, get you some produce. And now back to you, Shauntrice.
All right, so I'm going to go back to my screen share. Hopefully y'all had a little bit of time to think about it. All right, so true or false? Generational wealth building can include life insurance. And the answer is true. Y'all like how colorful it is? Because I feel colorful.
Oh, you killed this.
So, of course, we can't control everything. Like, I could, my son could inherit $8 million, but if he goes out and spends it all immediately, there's nothing I can really do about that. But one thing we can control is whether or not our end-of-life expenses are covered. A lot of times, things happen we don't know. You could get hit by a car, you could get a disease, whatever, you pass away. There's a lot of expenses associated with that. You can't just leave the body at the morgue, right? There's a funeral or a wake, regardless of what religion you are, there's going to be some end-of-life expenses. One of the ways that we can mitigate that for our children is having life insurance. I personally have 2 policies, one life insurance through work and one term life insurance through Primerica. And the thing that is really, really helpful for me is knowing, like, okay, this is about how much a funeral costs now. Let me calculate a little cushion for inflation, and that's about how much insurance I want. Your life insurance policy can be like $10, $20, $30 a month, which is not going to be that much compared to, trying to come out of pocket like $10,000 for a funeral. Those caskets are expensive. Listen, and for everybody watching this, don't spend no money on my funeral. Do the bare minimum.
I swear.
Listen, cremate me. If y'all got to leave the body at the morgue, if they allow that, just go have a party, like go to Legends.
Seriously. Right. Turn up.
But the funeral is for the people still living, not necessarily the person that passed away, but that would be my wish. Don't spend no money on mine, child.
Absolutely.
Burn me up and put me in a shoebox, okay? I'm cool with it.
Put me in your garden.
Yeah, see, and that would be good because then I'm steady churning out profit.
Absolutely.
And so I'm not going to make y'all read over every single thing here, but essentially, like, we keep in mind that there's racial injustice. There's redlining that still goes on today. Houses in the West End are way undervalued compared to other parts of Louisville. We have all these barriers. So it's not like, oh, dang, I'm not wealthy yet. What am I doing wrong? Some of it is institutional that we cannot necessarily control or change immediately. But it's about looking at the things you can change and impact and working on those. So don't ever feel like, damn, like my classmate is a millionaire. We seem to be doing the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I really want folks to take that to heart because I felt for a long time like I had some white classmates who I'm not saying they weren't smart or innovative, but they were not working as hard, but for some reason were getting more in terms of money, career development,
Yeah.
So I want y'all to like just keep that in your heart. Don't feel like you're a failure just because you ain't making Beyonce money right now.
Right.
So yeah. All right. It's time again for a do now. So for
All
this
right.
one, I want folks to compare term life insurance quotes. If you're watching this on replay, just hit pause. And it's really easy to compare. You don't put in your social security number.
Mhm.
Don't put in, a bunch of extra information. If you have the Acorns app, you can compare life insurance and make money while you do it. You can get like $10 for getting a quote. And I have a whole separate class on how to use Acorns. It's super simple.
Send me that link.
Yes.
I'm about to download that.
But yeah, you can also just talk to people on your timeline who are insurance agents. I keep shouting out Jasmine Presley because she's the one who sold me my most recent term life insurance policy. But you want to compare terms and see how much you have to pay per month or per year. You will get a discount. If you pay for the whole year at once, I think mine was like $225 for the month, or I would have ended up paying a total of like $300 for the year if I broke it down into monthly installments. So you can get discounts. Sometimes you could bundle like home insurance, life insurance, car insurance, get a discount. But I would say shop around. Look at least 4 or 5 other places. A good resource for research is NerdWallet, NERDWALLET.com, NerdWallet. I think Credit Karma also has some articles. Go on Acorns app. They have articles as well, but research it. I would say give yourself a good week or two to look at different rates and then pick something based on what fits you, because there's no one insurance that's going to fit everybody.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the next thing is the slide catch up with me. And there we go. Okay, so this is our next true or false. True or false? If your parents were poor, you're likely to be poor too. And I'm going to ask you, Mahogany, what you think? Is that a true or false?
I was trying to process it, and I'm naturally an optimistic person, but also America is complex and capitalism is a lot. So I want to say false, but then I'm also like, that's my heart saying. My heart initially said false, but then reality said true. So I'm going to go with my heart. And my heart is saying false.
Well, it's true.
Okay.
So you were on the exact right wavelength. So hold on real quick. Anija, can you bring mommy my laptop charger?
Shout out to Anisha too.
So this is true and false. Institutional racism, we talked about that repeatedly, but it can block our blessings.
Absolutely.
There's all types of, there's the glass ceiling for white women, but there's also like, we're in a whole like underground bunker. So we barely even got to the house to let alone have a glass ceiling. So there's a bunch of barriers that we have to deal with, but with policy changes, knowledge, and resources, we can really start to break the cycle. And we can also use cooperative economics, which a lot of times we're lacking. You talked about Ag in the City, Play Cousins, Change Today, Change Tomorrow, Someone Sees with Faith. Like I'm thinking of all the organizations I've collaborated with. Trishelle, a DJ Bombshell, has a new organization that's about millennials and home ownership. There's Wakiza West. Like I think about all these different groups. Russell, Place of Promise. So we can use cooperative economics and like collective wealth building in order to combat the institutional barriers that we have. And while I get this plug, I'm gonna turn it over to y'all so y'all can look at the food real quick.
Yes. But while Shauntrice was talking, I was just thinking about like my experience with my mom and like a lot of the choices that she's made. And so that first line, that's why I was in that balance of like true and false. And like the struggle is still very much there, but it is a lot of the, the decisions that not even, I hate when it's just like that push on the decisions, but absolutely the decisions, the priorities that we have, and absolutely, having access to those resources can definitely be a part, and knowledge, so it's exciting to know that this is such a balanced thing, because anytime there's like that balance, that it could easily be false by knowledge and having Shauntrice on the team and staying connected with your play cousins and taking advantage of resources with Russell, A Place of Promise, all the folks that Shauntrice shouted out. So it's really lit to see that we are on our way. Let's check in.
And I want to add too, just about the finance issue. As far as that being generational, like a lot of times, our struggles are not going to be the same as our parents because we live in a completely different time. So we just always let our parent situations define us. They don't always. end up like it, and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're still in the same spot, y'all. I'm slowly dicing up. I'm a little OCD. My friends call me a bougie cook, but I'm slowly dicing up these vegetables. The last thing we'll have to do is put the oil on them and put the seasonings. So we'll show y'all once we put it in the pan and about to put it in the oven.
Yes. I'm really excited. And she just cracks open the chickpeas too. So we are about to eat well.
It's gonna be real hearty.
It is gonna be hearty. It is. I'm gonna still want some meat though.
Yes.
Chicken.
Yes.
We want it to be accessible, you know what I mean, for all the fam and all the play cousins. But I might add a little chicken to mine.
I got some chorizo that I've been waiting to cook up. So
Ooh,
yeah.
that's good. Come by, let's spot. Bring the chorizo. We're gonna social distance and do right, but bring the chorizo.
Let's see. I'm gonna switch back to our share screen. I feel so technologically advanced today.
Yeah,
Like,
no, you should. I was on Facebook for 3 minutes, like, y'all done seen all the things. No, you're killing it. You are absolutely killing it. And I want to talk offline on how you did this because
oh yeah, I'm all about this. Okay.
I'm gonna pay you to do mine. I'm that person.
Listen, I'm about to unpause it so you can see my dramatic animation.
Oh, I'm excited. Yes, let's see.
All right, so this is gonna be a fill in the blank. And of course, y'all don't have to like share this with us necessarily. And let me pause it. Y'all don't have to necessarily share with anyone. This is more so for your benefit, because I want you to think of like how these tips fit into your life. This is general, like we said at the beginning. The more we do, the more specific it's going to get to the community's needs. But for right now, I want you to use this to tailor what we're talking about to your life. All right, so it says, I can teach my child about how to blank their money each week. And you can put anything in there, how to save, how to spend their money, how to invest their money. There's a bunch of things you could use to fill it in. So there's no right or wrong answer. Think about what you feel comfortable talking to your children about. It'll also depend on their age. I know that I'm a board member for Bridge Kids International, and we have a program coming out that's going to help children learn how to save and invest and just be financially literate. You know, and my son and my niece both have sold their art and their stuff at different fairs and things around the city. So we're already learning about like, what does it mean to want McDonald's instead of eating at home?
Right.
Because I do say, do you have McDonald's money? Or we got food at home.
Mama!
Right, that's the go-to. But, you know, the remix of what our parents used to say is explaining to them, yeah, McDonald's money means this. If you spend $5 on this Happy Meal, that's less money in this other area. Or like my son, for instance, has a savings account, and he's not allowed to spend out of it unless he has a plan for replacing it. So you want, and there's age-appropriate ways to talk to kids about money. My son is 7. You know, I talk to him about money different than I talk to my niece who's 9, or one of my students who's in high school. So there's different ways to do it. And if your child is 1, like, just show them what money looks like. You ain't gotta be all extra. You ain't gotta have a whole curriculum for them to learn about money. Right. I didn't grow up learning about money, but I know about it now. So don't feel like you're behind as a parent. Do what you have the bandwidth or the capacity to do. All right, the next one. I commit to saving blank dollars each month by blank. Now that could be, I commit to saving $1 each month by, you know, driving less, spending less on gas or whatever. Yeah. Or I commit to saving $200 a month by refinancing my mortgage, right? That's a little higher level. It takes a lot more steps. And whenever you do refinance, it costs you money. Even though it saves you money in the long run, when you first do it, it's going to cost, you know, loan officer fees, and you have to do an appraisal, all this other stuff. So when you talk about how much you want to save and how you're going to do it, think about your life specifically. Maybe it means you cut down on spending. Maybe it means you start really monetizing that side hustle. Maybe you do crochet hats and now you want to put up an Etsy site. Or maybe you have been giving people rides for free, but now you're going to start charging $1. You know, so there's different ways. You don't have to create a whole business because that's very involved. But maybe you can, you know, say, I'm going to consult on cooking. Or I'm going to host this live event where people can donate to my business idea. So there's a bunch of ways to save money. You don't want to just take anybody's advice based on what they've experienced. Sometimes you got to really reflect on what's best for you. And then you don't want to save so much money that you end up hurting yourself. So if you only making $1,000 a month, which $1,000 is not a small amount, but if you're making $1,000 a month, your bills are $900 a month, and you're like, you know what, I'm gonna save $500 a month, houseway. Like, it's not mathematically sound. So you want to make sure that you also give yourself a cushion. What I try to do is I overestimate my bills. So if my LG&E is like $175 a month, when I'm writing my budget, I make it $200. And then if my income is $700, I'll go down to like $500. So I'm giving myself a cushion. So if one thing goes wrong, if my work, I mean, I don't think LHOME would do this or KFTC, but if the check don't clear, then like, what am I gonna do? And so that's especially important for if you're like in the gig economy. If you're a hairdresser, you see what Corona has done to people. Right. So you want to underestimate your income and overestimate your expenses just so you have a cushion. And then say if you surprise yourself and you actually end up saving like $200 just by overestimating certain parts, just automatically put that in savings and don't think about it. Don't look at it. I don't log into my savings account, but like 2-3 times a year, if that. And so I was thinking, I try not to look at it because I might think of something to do with it.
Exactly. I'm trying to save my stimulus.
Oh man, my stimulus gone, child. But no, that's so. Say it again.
I said I'm trying.
Yeah, I hope we get that other check. I heard we might.
I wasn't gonna say that, but I want that one too. I'm saving that one too. I'm gonna be all the way up.
I mean, Trump is busy suing Facebook or something. Hopefully, he just go ahead and sign that second stimulus check.
Come on, please. Come on, Senate.
Trump. It's on the representatives or whatever, but I just need it to go through. So the last one is a little more tangible, and it gets kind of real. So we're ending out May. It's almost June. It's almost the summer. So in May, I spent this many dollars, and I earned this many dollars. We talked about debt to income, but when you really sit down and write it down, it hits different. So I want to encourage everyone to do that within the next day or two. Like, push yourself and challenge yourself to do this every month. Like, how much did I say I was going to spend, and how much did I really spend? And the same thing with earning, especially if you're an entrepreneur. Like, if you're working your butt off and you doing like 50 hours a week as an entrepreneur, but every week you're losing money, then like there's some ways to reassess, like, what can I change about my business? Is this the right field for me? What's the market looking like? Are all the businesses in my field failing this month? Like, what's going on? Is it just Corona? So you really want to look at this every month. And if you can, if like it hurts my feelings too much to do it every week, but if you can do it every week without getting sad, like I often do, because I get sad about spending money, then I would suggest do it as often as is helpful for you. And one thing, I'm gonna shout out my therapist, Candace. She said that like, don't tackle everything at once. Like, do what you can when you can. Do a little bit here and there, and that way you don't overwhelm yourself. Like, don't start out saying I'm gonna buy a house next year when you don't even have a bank account. Right. So just be measured in what you're trying to do and what you're trying to accomplish. And sometimes it's good to have a 1 week goal, 1 year long, 1 year goal. So just pace yourself.
Yes, and let's check in after this slide. I want to check in with Christian. She done added the oils and the spices. I smell some garlic, so I'm excited for a visual.
All right, so this next one is, again, this is stuff that I want you all to work on. I filled in some things, but I want you to write down 4 ways you can monetize your side hustle this week. So between now and next Wednesday. I know today's Thursday, so next Wednesday, what are 4 things that you can do to monetize your side hustle? I put down some examples. Get paid to write as a freelancer. You can create a video tutorial and earn some money. You can become a brand ambassador, sell the stuff that's cluttering up your house and invest those funds into your business or just into your household and your bills. All 4 of these are things you can do without spending money. You know, they say you got to spend money to make money. And while that is true in a lot of instances, there's some things you can do to make money without having to spend anything. So I don't want you to feel like, oh, I got to get a website, business cards, I got to go get a billboard and pay all these interns. No, like, you can start out small. And then, okay, now that you've made your first $1,000 in your business, now you can put some money into a Facebook ad, or you can put some money, and not just to big up Facebook, honestly, because there's Black-owned opportunities for you to put your word out there. Like, there's Black influencers who you could pay them a little bit of money. They show off a tutorial with your product, and that's going to do better than a Facebook ad. I worked for a company a few years ago that did Facebook ads, paid a lot of money, and they got a bunch of like bots and trolls, and it didn't convert into sales. So I would say be careful about spending your money with Facebook, even though we're on Facebook right now. It's better to like try to build up organic traffic or just pay a professional to get you together on that if that's not your area of expertise.
I love organic traffic. That was a bar. Because that's real. That was. Let's check it with oops.
And let me unshare my screen so everybody can see.
We're back. Oh, we have to get a video.
Now, I don't do this as well as some of my colleagues in the field, but this is the part about cooking that I love. You get to have fun with the food. Now, look at this beautiful colors, y'all. So much health benefits. So, yeah. We got it cooking up in here. I'm about to put it on the pan.
It smells amazing. Well, I'll show y'all another pan too. So we can see y'all's pans too. Y'all can show us pictures.
See, I kind of want to start me a little show like Bad Cooking with Shauntrice, because it ain't my.
But that's cute.
What's it called? That ain't my ministry. My sister is an excellent chef. I can hit you up with some tacos though.
Right.
Real cheese be on point with the little paprika and the tuna.
No, it was funny when I first introduced the bread and butter series to Shauntrice. It sounded like we would be cooking, and of course, like that's a component, but it's for those that want to cook. But Shauntrice was like, I think I'm gonna pass on the cooking classes. I was like, okay, boundaries. But it's important to know your lane.
Yes, child. Definitely stay all the way out of the cooking lane. That looks good.
Beautiful. We can put it in here.
Yes. We got an old school oven, so it might be about 7 minutes. Bottom rack, yeah, bro. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to turn back to the share screen. I just want to lift up that we are doing an amazing job on this Zoom/Facebook Live. I feel like it's kind of lit compared to some of the Zooms I've been on. I'm going to brag about it.
Well, when we all come together, it usually is.
All right, so make sure y'all, if y'all are watching this on replay or you're watching it live, really do these activities.
Yes.
It's good to watch the video. It's good to take the classes, but you got to put it into practice. And a lot of times when you write it down, your mind is like, okay, this is serious. This is a real goal that I'm trying to meet. And then I want to encourage y'all to also check in with me, even if you don't know me personally. Like I'm one of the people running the LHOME page. Like check in and say, oh, I took your class and this is what I learned. I'm struggling with this or that. And even if I can't help you, like I'm definitely not gonna give y'all money, but even if I can't help encourage you or point you in the right direction, I'm in community with so many wonderful other financial coaches, people who are all about community engagement. And I just want to encourage y'all to keep going. You're gonna stumble, you're gonna mess up. Like, I bought sushi today. I really wanted sushi. Okay, I'm bougie. I wanted sushi and I wanted sparkling water.
You deserve.
Man. And so, I bought it and I shouldn't have. But for me, I'm like, okay, that brought me joy. It was worth the risk, or it was worth the little bit of money that I spent extra. And so what am I going to do in the future so that I don't feel that urge? And we're going to keep stumbling. We're human. You know what I'm saying? And with everything happening with Breonna Taylor, with, it's so much going on. Like, don't give up just because you have that 1 or 2 or 10 stumbles. I heard this dude, even though he was a scammer, he stole this quote. So the quote wasn't a scam. He said that if you're driving and you get a flat tire, you don't go around and flatten all the other 3 tires. Right. That's sabotage. So instead, you just say, hey, I got a flat tire. Let me fix it. Right. So don't sabotage. Don't beat yourself up. And again, that's shout out to my therapist, Candace. I love her.
Yes.
Center for Racial Trauma and Healing.
Yes.
So I would just say be encouraged and keep as much of a positive mindset as you can, because there's so much negative coming at us all the time. It's easy to internalize. But just like with a lot of things in life, when it comes to your finances, try to be in a positive mindset. Like, I'm going to get these things. This stuff is coming to me. I'm going to make some money. Somebody's going to watch my live tonight. Like, I can't see none of the comments. I can't see if people checking in. But in my mind, it's 800 people in this room looking at our live. All right, so we're coming to the end. We're about to do a recap. I know I ran through things kind of fast. Y'all can comment. You can reach out to Mahogany, Christian, or myself. We want to keep this series going, and we want it to be, we want it to go on as long as it's beneficial to the community. So to recap, today we learned that we are not our parents. 2, insurance can build wealth. 3, we want to avoid wealth killers. And 4, we want to monetize a hobby or a side hustle, whatever you want to call it. Even if you just like go get people's groceries for them. I would pay somebody to go do my grocery shopping. They have an app for that in California, but now that I'm in Louisville, you know, that's something I don't have access to.
Instacart.
No, I mean like a person. Like you hook up with a person. Yeah,
One of my friends does that. I'll connect y'all.
Yes, child. Meal prep. I just talked to Ida. She makes Ida at Play Cousins.
Yeah.
She does the sea moss. My friend Patrice does the elderberry juice. So it's like I love hooking up with people. And I bought from Ag in the City before, but I'm not on that healthy tip. I'm working back towards Ag.
I know, right?
But you know, there's ways you can monetize things without making a whole business. So I just want to like think about one thing you do that you know gets on other people's nerves. Like if somebody come clean my house, I'm willing to pay for that because I don't want to do it.
Right.
So, you know, just think about some of those things. So our to-do list, 1 is to open a Credit Karma account. If you already have a Credit Karma account, I'm going to challenge you to actually look through the credit report and see what's on there. If there's something older than 7 years or something's inaccurate or they got a whole different person's name, and these are all things I've gone through, there's a way to dispute it and get it off your credit report, which will raise your credit score. 2 is to compare 3 term life insurance rates. You can do this on your own or contact an insurance agent. I shouted out Jasmine Presley earlier because I trust her. You know, I trust her to do it, but there's a lot of other people too. You can also go on Acorns and you could just Google it. 3 is to open a savings account and deposit $10 into the account. I don't have a date on there, so this could be tomorrow, this could be next month, this could be next year. I just want you to set a date for yourself and do it. The other thing I'll say is earlier I said I would give $50 to someone who is on this, and I'm going to let Mahogany and Christian pick the person based on people sharing, based on people in comments, wherever y'all find people in the Play Cousins family or the Russell Place of Promise family, pick one person and connect me with them, and we will put $50 in the savings account. I'm praying that it goes in a savings account.
Are we eligible?
That's a good question. Y'all should ask the people. I ain't got nothing to do with that.
Facebook. I had to stick it to my savings.
And the 4th one is just to start a kid-friendly money conversation. Like, we don't want our children to just be out here experimenting on stuff that we know about. Like, if we know that there's ways to save money and ways to monetize your business and not be so dependent on another person for your finances, like, let us know. A good example is, you know, usually for EBT, there's all these restrictions or requirements, but they're changing it for Corona, for COVID-19, so that even if you weren't on EBT before, if you're in a school that has free or reduced lunch, or you're in a community that has free or reduced lunch, even if you personally were not on free or reduced lunch, you're eligible for, I think, up to $300 on an emergency EBT
today.
Oh, we're applying for that. Yes.
Today?
Yes. Y'all, listen. We went to, my son went to King before he was homeschooled, and so like we're eligible because it's 100% free reduced lunch. I have no shame in taking that because
absolutely not.
Gonna happen. Just like we just went to the Boys and Girls Club earlier to get that free dinner.
Yes,
Gender non-conforming person. So yeah, that's where we're getting towards the end here. I just want to share some resources. Of course, there's the Play Cousins Collective, Kristen, Taylor, Mahogany, Christian. There's a bunch of people who share out information, who share out resources. There's flyers. So definitely, if you haven't already, I would say, you know, join the collective so you can find out when events are happening and other resources. I put a couple articles here about wealth building, just so you know, it's a shameless plug. That Business Insider article was written by me. And then we also have Russell Place of Promise, which is sponsoring this class. LHOME, we primarily deal in loans, but unlike a bank, we don't do a hard credit pull. Instead, we do a soft credit pull. So even if you get denied a loan, it's not going to hurt your credit. And if I'm your loan officer, you better not just skirt out on me. I'm going to be contacting you, text, email, Facebook, however I need to, so we can make sure the bills are paid.
Yeah.
And then finally, I talked about DJ Bombshell's new organization that she's developing with a group of us, which is the Black Millennial Homeowner Coalition. It's just starting out, but what we want to do is increase the amount of Black homeowners in the West End specifically. And so the group is people who have a home already, who don't have one yet, people who are real estate investors, folks who are just curious and have questions, loan officers, we have contractors. So we want to, again, like we talked about earlier with Ag in the City, we want to keep that money circulating within our community. So we're saying, and there's a bunch of organizations. There's Wakiza West there, and I might be saying it wrong. I know that Donnie Atkins is in that one, but there's a bunch of groups like that. So not saying you just have to join ours, but I'm gonna say join ours because I'm in it, and Bombshell is in it, and a bunch of people who know what they're talking about are in it. So we can continue to build wealth and make sure that we are not cutting ourselves off from opportunities to make money.
Yeah.
And also shout out to
I know there was a lot, y'all.
Shout out to Tracielle because she's actually the communications outreach specialist for Russell Place of Promise as well. So that's awesome.
Yes.
And look,
We
my
the
bad,
trail
I say her name
parties.
wrong pretty much every time. So that's why I just be saying DJ Bombshell, because I hate to say my name wrong. So sorry, girl. I love you and I appreciate you. And I'm going to be at the next wind down.
Right. That's, I said we missed the trail party.
Yeah, I got another bottle of Moscato. I'm over 21, so I feel fine saying that. And I know that people think it's a hood drink, but oh well. I got some pink Moscatos on sale at Kroger, so I will be ready to turn up when it comes along.
Yes. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Do you have other remarks, Shauntrice, or shout outs?
Oh, well, shout out to my homegirl Trenya, who helped me with putting together these sessions. But I also just want to say that, y'all, there are like so many opportunities to make money outside of just the traditional norms and procedures related to like 9-to-5 jobs. And if you're like wondering about something, feel welcome to reach out to me. I'm not going to add you as a Facebook friend, but I will respond. And,
I love it.
Give you tips and tricks. Like there's stuff I've done that I did it wrong, so I know how to tell you not to do it that way. But yeah, just ask questions. There are no dumb questions when it comes to Black people trying to get their money up. So yeah, and the last thing I'm gonna say is hashtag Justice for Bree. No more no knocks. Shout out to Victoria and Casa. And y'all, we, aside from all this other stuff, the positive stuff, we want to make sure that we're uplifting the people doing the work. And shout out to Chanel and Taylor who are doing this work. Jamarion Fleming, I say his name wrong too, my bad. I love him though. Thank y'all.
Yes, I love the shout out.
Can you exit out of your screen so it'll show us side by side? We can do some questions. And I want to shout out Kristen, who has been tagging everybody. With the elderberry syrup. With the sea moss. And just being
that's my boss.
And she also said something about the
yes, that you mentioned.
Look like this.
You got to come closer to the screen because I'm sorry, I can't hear.
You said you didn't have to kill it like this.
Oh.
Was that a little whoa?
I don't know what it's called. My niece Desire does it. It goes something like this. Don't give me the line though.
Shout out to Desire.
Keep in mind that health is not well. So if you're eating right, then feeling good and up to doing something.
Yes. And we are what we absolutely. And I don't know about you all, but the weather has been really kind of trashy lately. But I know that I have been basking in these pockets of sunshine, going for some good walks. So make sure y'all getting y'all steps in, getting some of this sunshine, because it's been a lot of rain, but it's been a lot of sunshine too. And I think that's just symbolic of like where we are. So let's keep our spirits lifted, take care of one another. Russell, a place of promise is here. Your play cousins are here. The Queen Shauntrice Martin is here. So we're gonna get through it, and we're gonna kill it, and we're gonna keep it cute as we always do, and we're gonna heal and be free, and we're about to eat good.
Yeah.
So let us know what y'all want to cook next time. Let us know what money concerns you all have. Just send us feedback. Let us know so that we can tailor our bread and butter series to you and your money needs and your appetite. Yes. Yes. Well, thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful night. Thank you, Shauntrice. And I'm about to text you because I got a lot of questions.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Good night.
Night.